I have nods in my throat to think about it. No, you don't want to be there. No, we cannot be there. And yes, we have to continue what the hospital has been doing so well, and we will continue, but we'll face the music when it comes there.
Hospitals across Quebec are preparing for the worst, a possible bigger surge in COVID patients that could overwhelm the system and force them to use a life or death protocol as a way to evaluate the survivability of each patient when they're strapped for resources.
That's why the government is doing what it's doing with the curfew, and it's really to decrease the number of patients being admitted and the pressure on the healthcare system, because there'll come a time where we won't be able to.
On Friday, Quebec saw a slight decrease in hospitalizations, bringing the total to just under 1,500, but ICU numbers at a pandemic high of 231 patients. Hospitals in Montreal have found ways to transfer patients and add 43 ICU beds and over 300 beds for non-COVID patients. The province not quite ready to implement the critical care prioritization protocol.
The Ministry of Health is looking at the capacity of the whole province very closely, and they will be able to say at what point we will need to use it.
The protocol would be a last resort, and if needed to be applied, it would be active at all hospitals in Quebec to standardize the decisions surrounding which patients would receive care in an ICU, with age not playing a role.
Someone who is 30 can be very sick because he has a chronic disease, he has a lot of comorbidities. It may imply that this person will not have a good chance of survival. And a person of, let's say, 60 can be very healthy, no comorbidities, and a very high chance of survival if that person goes to the ICU. So this person will prioritize.
But it won't be doctors in the ICU making these critical decisions.
There will be a trio of people that will make the decision, and those people, they will be independent of the care of the patient, so that the burden is not on the physician's shoulder, but on this trio, this prioritizing committee or trio that will be able to see the big picture.
I've been doing ICU for long enough that I face the situation on a day-to-day. The pandemic has made the problem more acute, and the resources more limited. So yes, it's something that we're thinking, and it's something that we want to avoid as much as possible. But the door is open. We will not refuse a patient on the basis of age. We will limit maybe some intervention depending upon the situation. But you can't. I mean, the anxiety of the population is going to be at its maximum.
In Montreal, Alyssia Rubertucci, City News.